the security and continuing stability, the Republic.
Increase vaccinations among the unvaccinated with new vaccination requirements. This is not about freedom or personal choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you, the people you work with, the people you care about, the people you love. My job as president is to protect all Americans. So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week. Already, I've announced we'll be requiring vaccinations of all nursing home workers who treat patients on Medicare and Medicaid. Tonight, I'm using that same authority to expand that to cover those who work in hospitals, home health care facilities, or other medical facilities, a total of 17 million healthcare workers. I will sign an executive order that will now require all executive branch federal employees to be vaccinated, all. And I've signed another executive order that will require federal contractors to do the same. If you want to work with the federal government and do business with us, get vaccinated. If you want to do business with the federal government, vaccinate your workforce. Today, in total, the vaccine requirements in my plan will affect about 100 million Americans. Of course, the decision of which booster shots to give, when to start them, and who will give them will be left completely to the scientists at the FDA and the Centers for Disease Control. Tonight, I'm announcing that will require all of nearly 300,000 educators in the program, Head Start programs, must be vaccinated as well. I'll use my power as president to get them out of the way. Tonight, I'm announcing that the Transportation Safety Administration, the TSA, will double the fines on travelers that refuse to mask. If you break the rules, be prepared to pay. And by the way, show some respect. The anger you see on television toward flight attendants and others doing their job is wrong. It's ugly. Today, I'm announcing that the Defense Department will double the number of military health teams that they'll deploy to help their fellow Americans in hospitals around the country. Additionally, we're increasing the availability of new medicines recommended by real doctors, not conspiracy theorists. My first responsibility as president is to protect the American people. Get vaccinated.
For a safe and secure society.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
There you go. That's Dear Leader. Dear Leader. I hope you enjoyed it, because that's what we got from Dear Leader. That's who runs the show now. This is what we have to deal with. Did you catch the part where he said, this vaccination plan will be the plan for the next pandemic that is inevitable? Your freedom is dead. It's gone. It is dead. It died right on national television. I mean, it died a long time ago. We knew this at the beginning. The moment they started doing lockdowns and mask mandates and using government agents to prevent people from leaving their homes in Kentucky, that's where I was ringing the bell. Governor Beshear, I'm like, oh shit, he's sent cops with guns to force people to stay inside. And those people are like, we never even got tested for COVID. I was like, that's it. Your freedom was dead on that moment. And how appropriate that this massive curtailing of freedom comes just 2 days before one of the previous massive curtailings of your freedom, September 11th. 2001, the 20th anniversary. We're doubling down, baby. Patriot Act. Patriot Act. Now the true Patriot Act is getting vaccinated by your real doctor, not your fake doctor who might disagree with the government, or not your fake doctor who might know your own personal health and determine that you have allergic responses to vaccines or that you are a particularly at-risk person. Not those fake doctors, only real government-approved doctors. And they'll be sending government military healthcare teams to every hospital in the country to facilitate the treatment of people. Wait, what? What is this? When on earth? Imagine George Bush. We're out here. We're going to go ahead and send the military doctors into every hospital, implement the military doctorizing plan of the hospitalizing of America. Imagine Bush doing that. What would the CNN headline say? What would the MSNBC headline say if a Republican president sent a military health team to a private healthcare facility to deal with something in government-approved way, comrade? What would they say if that happened? And they will be lapping this up. They will be lapping this up. Oh, God, I have so many dirty ways to finish that sentence, and I won't. This is what they want. This is what they've been begging for. They are American Pravda. They are the propagandists. They are the sycophants of government action. That's what they demand and desire. Control me harder, Daddy. Control me harder, Daddy. That's what they want. It's disgusting to me. And it will be done with full applause from the complicit celebrity cast. Why? Because the complicit celebrity cast, the woke Hollywood, the woke daytime television production teams in LA and New York, well, one, it complies with their politics. Two, they must remain the arbiters of proper behavior, the arbiters of morality. People seem to forget that morality is simply correct behavior under a rule structure. Angel of Sin says Bronca put on his tie this morning, but left off the tie in his heart. 1337 Bald Eagle says, I don't know what we're arguing about. There is a special ring of hell, a level they reserve for child moles and people who talk at the theater. A cell phone being on is clearly worse than talking at the theater. Not guilty. Lancelot says, why do we need witnesses talking? Wait, there was another one. What the hell?
Now we're going to be hearing a lot about the concession stand now.
Oh, no.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, boy.
Immediately after you heard the gunshot and saw the flash.
Okay. So going in an order, you saw Mr. Olson stand up and face Mr. Reeves, the defendant.
Yes, sir.
Said something about
sir.
texting his daughter.
Yes, sir.
Immediately after that, popcorn.
Yes, sir.
And then immediately after that, the shooting.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. Nicholas Cruiser says, now your brother Jabba was
At
in
any time,
Tatooine at
did
the
you
time
see
of the
Mr.
shooting.
Olson literally climb over into what would be your
That's
row.
cold.
No, sir.
Did you ever see him?
New Age Cuck says, Picha Chaka no Wookie Bunoa Twippy Solo Ho 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 Hoo. Oh, that's is that how Jabba the Hutt talks? Picha Chaka no Wookie Bunoa. There we go. Thank you. Jage says, witness, Huddies.
Ho ho kawela no buki do popcorn dem boom boom gunshot waka.
Please show Jabba the Hutt from the Whatever podcast.
And I also bartend.
Oh, do you?
Hi, I'm Kiko. I'm
Nailed it. Oh shit. Holy fuck.
Hi, I'm Kiko. I'm 23. I go to UCSB and I also bartend.
All the girls around that table look so sad.
There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Oh, wow! Will Smith smack the shit out.
It can't be. It can't be. I can't watch anymore.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? that was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Night in the history of television. Okay.
Okay.
Jada.
Whoops. That's enough of that. So what do we have here? If we believe any of this is real on anything more than the most superficial level, well, are there any circumstances under Will Smith striking Chris Rock with an open-handed slap or in any other manner would be lawful under these circumstances? I mean, the obvious answer is no. To use force against another person, you have to be facing, you have to be the innocent party, the non-aggressor, to lawfully use force against another person. You have to be the non-aggressor facing an imminent threat of force, unlawful force from that other person. And you have to be reasonably perceiving that threat, as well as subjectively believing it. Well, Chris Rock wasn't threatening anybody with any degree of force in any way. So clearly there'd be no privileged use force against him. In fact, Rock is standing there with his hands behind his back, if anything, leaning in towards Will Smith. So there's no circumstance under which Smith slapping Chris Rock could be justified as any kind of self-defense. It's impossible. The real question is, well, what's the consequence of the slap then? Well, even if we presume the slap was real, is Will Smith going to be prosecuted for committing what would be a simple battery, a non-deadly force attack on Chris Rock? Could that happen in theory? I suppose so, but it would never happen as a practical matter on the facts of this case. Certainly it's unlawful what Smith did, but we have the victim here available to us. That's Chris Rock. Is that victim going to ask to press charges against Will Smith? I mean, we know he's not even going to pursue civil action. At least that's what's been reported. Chris Rock has no interest in bringing any kind of action, criminal or civil, against Will Smith. And if the victim is not willing to do this in a misdemeanor simple battery case, no prosecutor is going to have any interest in pursuing this. By the way, if a prosecutor were to decide, I mean, strictly speaking, a prosecutor could. I mean, this is an offense against the state, committing an act of violence against another person. But if a prosecutor were to do that, what do you think is going to happen?
Think about this, people. If I knew, sitting here with my Baby Yoda in the background and with my Seriously shirt on, and I knew 10 months ago that Clark Swanson was the source, and Emily D. Baker figured it out 10 months ago, it's got to be the source, and all these other YouTubers knew that Clark Swanson was the source. Do you really think one of the best defamation attorneys on the planet is not going to know that Clark Swanson was likely the source? Like, do you guys really think that, do you guys think Salty's like, oh, who could be the source? We got to no. They knew Clark Swanson was the source, right? Especially the type of information that was coming out, how it was coming out, and who was coming out too. They knew. They were like, all right, Clark Swanson is the source. But on my channel, I'm going to have a t-shirt that says this. Remember, it always comes down to this. It's not what you know, but it's what you can prove. And if you're in court, You need to be able to prove that Clark Swanson is the source. So who do you get to prove that Clark Swanson is the source? Katie Joy. Is that the Yoda? Yeah, that's my baby Yoda. I'm holding him tight. I'm holding him tight. So let me see. LOL probably doesn't even realize he's still holding baby Yoda. I do. I love my baby Yoda. I mean, I do know I'm holding him.
Everything's gonna be all right, kid.
If you like what I do, you like who I am, don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Welcome, guys. This is the For the Fans panel. You guys are the fans. We are fans. This is a reminder that this industry and every industry is about you, not some jackass voice actor, producer, director, production studio, person on Twitter, or anything else. You engage in your hobbies and your fandoms the way you want to. No one gets to tell you what it is. No one gets to tell you that you're not allowed. No one gets to tell you anything like that. And this is just a celebration of consumerism. Yeah! Because as much as Lofty is berated and belittled on a daily basis as a consummate consumer, we are all consumers, and that's who this is about.